Alright, hey guys, today I'm going to be changing the upstream oxygen sensors on my 2001 BMW 330CI. It's got the M54 engine in it. It should be pretty easy, not too much work. I've got two new oxygen sensors, Bosch OEM, an oxygen sensor removal tool, a 1/2 inch ratchet with an extension so I can pull it, and you can see the sensors just looking in. There's the first one, and the second one's right here just below my secondary air pump. So I'm just gonna remove this, pick this up. It's just 310s, so I'm just gonna lift it, pull it out of the way, remove them, put the new ones in, and should just take a few minutes. Alright, with the pump moved out of the way, see here's the pigtail for the oxygen sensor. Plugs into here, and this is for the back one. These are both upstream. They're both on the exhaust manifold, PreCat. So we're gonna remove this. We're gonna unplug them from here before we try to unscrew that so we don't mess anything up. Okay, so I used the little pry tool to pry up on two little tabs gently to pull it out. Alright, so there's one of them done. Both of them unplugged. Now we use this tool, our oxygen sensor removal tool. Just put it over, get our 1/2 inch. And they're not very tight. So that's all it took to break that one loose. And I'll remove it by hand if I can. So there's the first oxygen sensor removed. You can see how caked it is with all, well, when it comes into focus, there you go. It's got tons of caked on deposits that shouldn't be there. Alright, this rear one was a little bit harder to get to, but it's just as easy to remove. The ratchet was kind of big. If I had a swivel, it would be a lot easier. And I'd probably do in the garage, but alright, here's both of the old ones. You can see they've got considerable amounts of buildup on them, like carbon deposits and stuff, and that should not be there. I mean, these ones weren't giving me codes or anything, but they're not letting my readiness sensors get ready, so I can't pass emissions. So I'm changing them, and that could be the problem right there, is all that buildup. They could be not reading properly the way they're supposed to be. So I'm gonna get the new ones in. The new ones come pre-coated with anti-seize on them, so that'll make it easy for installation, and if I ever have to take them out again. And I'm not gonna crank them in, just gonna put them in, tighten a little bit just like the ones I took out, but I'm gonna clean this area up really quick where I pulled the old oxygen sensors from, and then put these in. and I am using OEM stuff, so I don't want any problems when they're installed. I'd rather avoid any problems, so just use OEM. That's all I'm doing to tighten it, nothing too crazy. Just giving it a little bit of pressure to make sure that the crush washer can seal. There we go. Alright, now that I have the new oxygen sensors in, I gotta plug in pigtails and get everything back up where it goes. And there's only one way you can plug these things in, so don't worry about trying to figure out if it's in right or not, because it'll literally only let you put them in one way. Okay, after those are plugged in and put back in, make sure you take your tools out. Plug your secondary air pump back in. Like, my mounts are broken, so I'll just put this in separate and then plug the harness back in. Start it and see if my secondary air system will ready up now. Alright, nice fresh O2 sensors in. Right there and back there. Total time of about 30 minutes. Not hard. Super easy job. Now comes the moment of truth though. So I had a bad, the valve for the secondary air system, I had a bad valve, so I replaced that last time. I think I put a video up, if not I'll put that up. And now the O2 sensors, I think, were what was wrong with the system. So if all goes well, it should be ready to pass emissions, and we will see. There we go. Less than 5 minutes of it running, and my secondary air system is ready, even with less than 1/4 of a tank of gas. As soon as those O2 sensors were swapped, we're good. Call that a win. I mean, took a few rounds of trying to figure out what was wrong with it, but then we figured it out. So O2 sensors, big deal. They really are a big deal. So, and even with as soon as I changed them when I started it just now, I should have been recording, my secondary air pump didn't stay on for the full 90 seconds that they normally do. It stayed on for about 30 to 45 seconds and shut itself off, and secondary air system is good. So now I'm gonna go pass emissions and be good.